Hello, this video is a tutorial on how to replace the battery in Dell Latitude 7000 series laptops. It should be applicable to most models including 7470, 7480, and 7490, manufactured between 2016 and 2019. One of the downsides of modern laptops is that everyone wants them to be thinner and lighter, so unfortunately you can't just pop out the batteries anymore like you could with these older style batteries. The batteries in new laptops are still replaceable, however, with just a little bit more work. Before we get started, I'd like to show you one of the symptoms of newer batteries is when they start to fail, they can swell up inside the case. Here's an example of a swelling battery. This can actually damage the motherboard and other internal components. So if you have a model with this type of battery in it, you should use a free tool like HW Monitor or Dell Diagnostics to monitor the condition of the battery. I'll put a link to download the HW Monitor tool in the description of this video. You can get a replacement battery on sites like Amazon or eBay for around 50 bucks. That's a lot cheaper than buying a new laptop. They're pretty easy to replace, usually around 6 to 8 screws and one wire. I'm going to start by demonstrating on this 7480 here in the middle. First thing you'd need to do is loosen the screws around the bottom cover. There's typically, as I mentioned, 6 to 8 screws, usually around the sides and some in the middle. So for example, here, and then 3 down each side. I've already loosened them for convenience of recording this video. So once they're all loose, you should be able to grab the cover by a corner and pull it up. Here on the inside, you can see various system components, including the memory, the storage. This is an M2 card, which replaces the hard drives in older computers. The wireless card. Up here you can also see the system fan. While we have the case open, it's usually a good idea to blow out around these areas with some compressed air. And typically you'd want to just put your finger on the fan so that it doesn't overspin it, and just blow around all of these areas. So to remove the battery, we just need to loosen these 2 additional screws. And disconnect the wire going to the battery. That's usually a pull tab, and you can just pull that right off. You do need to save the wire from the old battery, as the new ones don't typically come with the wire unless you order that special. Let me just show you what that looks like here on the screen. So to remove the wire, you just need to loosen any tape. And then pull the connector off. Let's go ahead and get our new battery out. And you would just put the wire back on in the same way. Once you have the wire reattached, you should be able to just pop it back in here. And screw everything back down. One other thing I like to do while I have the system open is just go around the inside of it and tighten any other screws that you happen to see. So for example, there's typically several screws along the back side. Those are for the hinges that hold the screen on, and those can work their way loose over time. So you want to just kind of put your screwdriver on those screws and make sure that everything is nice and tight while you're in there. So we've cleaned it, we've adjusted the screws, we've replaced the battery. If you wanted to upgrade the memory, you can see how easy that is to do on this model laptop. Now, something I'll point out as well is that on a lot of newer laptops, more of these components are surface mounted and they're not so easy to replace in the field. This model is, however, user upgradable, which is nice. So that's pretty much it. Reassembly is the reverse of what we just did. Let's get the cover back over here. Press down on it. I like to start with tightening the screws in the middle and then work my way out. Once I get done tightening these screws, I'm going to flip the laptop back over, we're going to turn it back on, and we're going to check that the battery is detected in the BIOS. We may need to charge it up. I'm assuming this battery's got a little juice in it. So to enter the BIOS on these Dell laptops, you just press the F2 key. Sometimes I'll tap it a few times. And usually near the top under Settings, General, there will be a field for battery information. So on this particular laptop, sorry, trying to get the camera to focus. You should see a meter that displays the health and charge status on the battery. So as you can see, the battery I just put in is it's showing as discharging. That's because I don't have an AC adapter plugged in. It reports its health as excellent with a 75% charge. I call that a successful operation. You know, again, I'll put a link to the hardware monitor tool in the description of this video. I do encourage you to download that and use that to monitor the internal conditions of your system, as well as the battery health that can detect things like the internal temperatures of the fan and the CPU, the hard drive. just to keep an eye on it and make sure your system's not overheating. On the newer laptops we issue, I'll typically include that tool already installed. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments or submit a help desk ticket to your IT support team. Thanks, have a great day, and stay safe out there.